And here is a My Froggy Stuff mashup to help our new Fabsome besties find some of our favorite videos. This week, our dolls are ready to be Santa's little helper and become the most Fabsome elves. From a toy store to a custom elf, we've got you covered. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. I am going to make a Santa hat for a doll using felt, fleece, and pom-poms. I start by measuring the felt around my doll's head. I round off the corner and then cut at an angle. For a no-sew option, I just overlap the edges until it makes a cone. I place glue down one side and then just make it all match and then smooth it down. Making sure my fleece stretches to the sides, I cut a strip, pull it gently to curl. If the fleece doesn't want to stay curled, I place a line of glue down the center and then pull again and hold until it dries. I glue the fleece around the bottom of the cone. I try it on my doll for size. I fold the hat over on the seam. I glue it down, glue a pom-pom to the end, and you're done. Now if you would rather sew your hat, cut your red cone just as before. Take a strip of fleece, felt or faux fur, fold it in half. Place it on the rounded edge of your cone. Using a needle and thread, begin stitching it on with a straight stitch. Tie, knot, and cut the end. Flip the bottom edge over. Fold the sides over to meet one another. Begin stitching it up the side. Be careful because pushing through this much material can be difficult. Continue all the way down until you're at the end. Tie, knot, and cut off the excess. Flip it right side out. I can leave it pointed to make an elf hat, or I can fold it over and tack it down with a needle and thread. Glue or stitch on your pom-pom, and you're done.
Happy crafting!
To make a quick and easy present, wrap a piece of cardboard in wrapping paper, add some ribbon, curl some ribbon to bunch up and make a bow. So what are the pros and cons of sewing versus gluing? Well, gluing is a lot faster. You can make a whole lot of hats very quickly. But a sewn version will allow the hat to give a little, just in case you didn't get your sizing just right. Going to transform Ever After High's Cerise Hood into our interpretation of the daughter of the Christmas elf. After removing her from the box, we are going to pull back her hair into a style that shows off her ears. So I made a braid to pull it back, tying it together with the other side, and I make a few small braids. To make her clothes, I take a Christmas sock, turn it inside out, cut off the toe and the top. Place the sock on the doll, pull it snug around the waist. Using a needle and thread, sew it to the shape of the doll. And I sewed around the seat first and then began going around the legs. When sewing on the doll, you just have to make sure to keep your stitches in a line on both sides. Trim off the excess, sew around the top to prevent fraying. Turn it inside out to make a pair of knit tights. Cut a rectangle of blue jean material, place elastic at the top, then fold over and sew a straight line going all the way across, making sure not to hit the elastic. Stitch on details, fold it so the good side is on the inside, gently pull the elastic to make it gather, Sew down the side, then trim off the excess. Turn it right side out. Use a nail file to add distress to make a jean skirt. Using our doll Christmas sweater video, I start making a sweater. Only this time I'm using a fuzzy fleece to sew on the cuffs. Sew buttons on the front. Continue just as before, adding the fuzzy fleece to finish the sweater. I found a buckle in the jewelry section at the craft store. I place it onto a piece of elastic, overlap and sew the ends of the elastic together. Place it on the doll feet first to make a belt. Following our doll Christmas hat video, we cut a cone out of felt. Overlap and glue the sides, add some trim and a few buttons to make a hat. I borrowed a pair of black boots, fill her purse with teddy bear buttons, and you're done.
Happy crafting!
With the holidays approaching, I thought it would be fun to make a miniature elf on the shelf. Using a red and white pipe cleaner, felt, embroidery floss, a needle and thread, wooden beads, and paint. I start by bending a pipe cleaner. Trim off the excess, begin twisting it at the top for the head, body, and legs. Cut a piece of a white pipe cleaner, then twist it around for the arms, leaving enough space at the top to place the bead later. Trim the fluff from the arms and legs. Using embroidery floss or thread, begin to tightly wrap the arms. When I get to the end, I bend the pipe cleaner, go back and wrap it a few times, then continue back down the arm. Continue on the other arm, go around the neck, tie it in the front, and trim off the excess. Repeat on the legs using red. Cut small rectangles of felt, wrap it around the legs and arms, and I use a needle and thread to sew the ends together on the back, covering the leg in felt. Repeat for the other leg, and to minimize the bulk, I try to keep the rectangle of felt as thin as possible. Then continue on the arms, leaving a little white on the ends for the gloves. For the body, I cut a small rectangle, make small cuts on the sides to go around the arms, then sew the ends together to close it in the back. Tie a knot the string and trim off the excess. On a thin rectangle of white felt, cut a zigzag pattern, wrap it around the neck, and sew in the back. I take a wooden bead and paint it a skin tone, lightly sketch the face and hair with a pencil, go over it with paint. I watered down a little pink to go around the eyes. Then I began to fill the eyes in with white. Add the eye color. I painted one with blue eyes and one with brown. Add black for the pupil, then eyelashes, then a tiny white dot for a little shine. Add some lips, paint on the hair, add a clear drying glue over the eyes to make them glossy, cut a pie shape out of the felt, with the rounded end on the bottom, fold it in half, sew up the side to make a cone. Turn it inside out, glue it onto the bead, cut a thin strip of white and glue it around the edge. To make sure the hat fits snug, I am holding the white felt firmly in the back until it dries. Attach the head to the body to make a posable, doll-sized elf on the shelf. And you're done.
Happy crafting!
Sitting close to keep us warm. The mistletoe is hanging at the door. Christmas is the time to set your mind and spirit free. Everybody smiling while we decorate the tree. If I could, I wish for you to spend Christmas here with me.
am going to make a Christmas sweater for a doll using socks, hook and eyes, and a needle and thread. For a 10 to 12 inch doll, I am going to use 2 socks. However, for a doll like an 18 inch, it may require 4 socks or longer socks. I start by cutting a section out of the sock that will be used for the front of the sweater. Cut the top corners off at an angle. Cut the sides so there are 2 pieces. Cut another portion of the sock that is long enough for the sleeves. Cut up the sides to make 2. Fold one in half and cut it in the same angle as the top of the sweater. Then repeat for both sleeves. To attach the sleeves, I open them up, then take one part of the sweater, line up the edges, then flip the sleeve over so good side is facing good side, and stitch it straight across. Using a needle and thread, I use a straight stitch to attach it. And when I get to the corner, I just go back down the other way. But this time, I'm doing an in and over stitch. Attach both sleeves. Attach the back side of the sweater to the other sides of the sleeves. Once all the sides are sewn, flip it over, grab it by the sleeves, pinch it, fold it over, then line up the edges. Cut another piece of a sock that is the same length as the end of the sleeves. Fold it so the good side is facing out. On the good side of the sleeve, I line up the raw edges, sew them together to make a cuff. Repeat for the other sleeve. Now, with good side to good side, line up the edges under the arm and down the side. Sew a straight line from the bottom of the sweater to the end of the cuff, and then back down the other way. Repeat on the other side, flip it right side out, take another piece of a cut sock, fold just as before, line up the raw edges with the bottom of the sweater, and sew them together. Then repeat at the top to make the collar, with a straight stitch going in and out, stopping before I meet the other end. Then I double back, this time doing an in and over stitch. This really helps to reinforce the stitch and clean the edge. Then I split the back just enough for the doll's body to pass through. Stitch around the raw edges. On the back of the collar, sew on a hook and eye so it can close in the back to make Christmas sweaters. Then we dress the dolls by putting their feet in first. And just because we like to use everything, we use leftover scraps from the socks to make pillows. And you're done.
Happy crafting!
Now that Orange has moved to a larger location, our general store has been left vacant. So we are going to give it a little makeover and transform it into a toy store. Using recycled cardboard, recycled paper, scrapbook paper, empty paper towel rolls, stickers, newspapers and magazines, beads, small toys such as those found in gumball machines and blind bags, pom-poms, acrylic craft paint, craft foam, and glue. I start by emptying out the store. Remove the shelving to get back to our basic box room. We begin to cover the walls with new paper. We even changed the awning. Cut strips of cardboard, cover with paper, begin gluing them into the box, cutting them when needed, working around the room. Now I cut more pieces of cardboard, then lay them out to make sure all the pieces will fit correctly, and labeling them helps to keep them organized. Begin covering them with paper, then take a large square for the back, glue it in the center of a rectangle, glue rectangles to the sides, add a kickboard, add shelves, add another rectangle on top, then a slightly larger one on top. Glue on beads to hold shopping bags. Add a cash register from a previous video to make the shop counter. Paint paper towel rolls, starting with a skin tone, then red, white, and black. Paint on details. to make legs, buttons, a face, and a hat. Glue a pom-pom on top. Pull out the fluff from a white pom-pom or cotton ball. Glue it on. Use a piece of paper to cover the edge. Cut recycled paper into thin strips. Then roll it around a pencil, using glue to secure it along the way, to make paper tubes. Glue on paper to cover the opening at one end. Glue a bead to the other, then paint it to match, then glue it to the side. Add a bead for a nose, then attach them to the front of the shop. Begin filling the shop with small toys such as those found in a gumball machine. Use the shop to store your minis from blind bags, or even these boxed Barbie minifigures from Mega Bloks. Simply place the toys on the shelves. I can even use some of the packaging for a wall display. We can make a few items for our shop using images from magazines and packaging. Just cut them out, then glue it to craft foam or layers of paperboard. To make games, DVDs, a box of Legos, play sand, and even Shopkins. Make paper tubes out of recycled paper. Cover the outside with black scrapbook paper and add a sticker to make the packaging for a makey. Cut and cover pieces of cardboard, then glue them together to make a box to hold additional toys. We made a quick festive tree using our recycled Christmas tree video, and we used buttons for ornaments. Then place it so it can be seen from the window. Use stickers to give your story name, and you are ready to open for business. So here's before, and here's after. And you're done.
Happy crafting!
Thank you for joining us for this My Froggy Stuff mashup. Let us know what mashups you would like to see in the comments down below. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Follow us on Instagram at My Froggy Stuff and the Frog Vlog, and we will see you next time. Bye!
Soon everything is Christmas.